You guys have to deal with the loud fans today. My mom doesn't have air conditioning right now. They're getting it replaced on Thursday. And it is supposed to be 90 degrees today. So, we're dealing with the loudness of the fans. I apologize wholeheartedly from the depths of my soul. Okay? Okay. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to be talking about Expedition China. Expedition China is a 2018 documentary release about the filmmaking of Born in China. It's written and directed by Ben Wallis, cinematography by Justin Maguire, Shane Moore, Jack Poon, Rolf Steinmann, and Paul Stewart. Editing by Steve Barnes and music by Barnaby Taylor, and it's narrated by Maggie Q. Gorgeous as expected, also fun to see behind the scenes things. This is a little bit different than Ghost of the Mountains. Obviously, so we've had Born in China, which was the documentary about all the animals in China. Then we had Ghost of the Mountains, which was a documentary about the team looking for the snow leopards specifically. Now we have Expedition China, which is about all of the other teams besides the snow leopard team and how struggles they faced to try and get the other animals from Born in China. It is beautiful, obviously, to look at, but it's also fun to see, like, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, but they also have, like, sitting down talking head, like a traditional documentary as well. So, the stuff they got of the actual animals is gorgeous. Like I said, this covers everything but the snow leopards. The snow leopard and the crew are mentioned in the beginning. They even mention Ghost of the Mountains. You see like a little clip, but then we don't really touch on that team again because they have a whole movie. This one does focus much more on the people trying to film the cranes, the people trying to film the monkeys, the people filming the pandas, and the people filming the churu, which was really interesting. It was cool to see the ways they were trying to capture the animals, and then also what went into it physically and mentally and all of that kind of stuff. This one is also a kind of different documentary. Obviously Born in China was a much more traditional animal documentary. Then we have The Ghost of the Mountains, which was really like just following the filmmakers around. They did have like sitting talking moments, but it wasn't like a traditional like talking head with the name in the bottom corner. This documentary felt much more like a History Channel documentary where you have someone like talking over a lot of the stuff and then a talking head interview while showing some of the footage. So this was like a much more traditional talking head informative documentary, more about like the actual what they did to try and conquer. And it was also like very much a love letter to China. It was very like China with hard eyes, which like about their nature and their conservation efforts and the beautiful wildlife they have, which was very nice to see, especially in this climate right now, currently. So, no kings. So it was just interesting to see how, like, all related and all very similar footage is used in all three of these documentaries, but they are all very different. Born in China, very traditional animal documentary. Ghost of the Mountains, very, like, follow the crew and see if they can catch the, whatever. That felt very, like, making of a movie documentary. Like, if you watch the special features on, like, a Disney film, where, like, it's talking about, like, the making of The Little Mermaid, and you see all the animators together, like, laughing about something that could potentially happen. That's what Ghost of the Mountains felt like. And then Expedition China is a very, like, historical, educational documentary that you would show in a school about, like, how they went to China and tried to film these animals. So I think it's really interesting because it's like very like three different styles of documentary, all about like stuff we've seen, which is kind of cool. It's kind of a cool process. I would definitely like, if you're gonna watch one, watch all three because it's very interesting, and honestly do it in this order. It's kind of cool. But it was fun because like they got to talk about, like, the Himalayan blue bear, which we didn't really touch on in Born in China. You did see it. We didn't touch on it in Born in China, but in this one they talk about how, like, the Himalayan blue bear is believed to be the origin of the Yeti. And, like, that's really cool. And then it talks about, like, why they wanted to document the pandas. And, like, they had to wear panda costumes in agreement with China to not, like, upset the ecosystem and stuff like that. It was very fun, and super cool to see like how much they go through, like not having a sighting in over a month, and you're sitting for 5 hours in a little like hide so they don't see you, hoping to see something that's wet and cold and awful, and they're hiking up in altitudes that like you need to wait 24 hours after every 1,600 feet you climb. Like, absolutely insane the toll it takes, but so incredible to capture what they're able to capture. My favorite part will probably be the crane babies, because we didn't super touch on the cranes in Born in China. They were at the beginning and at the end, but we didn't like learn about the cranes like we learned about, you know, the churu, the pandas, the monkeys, the snow leopards. We barely get the cranes in Born in China. So to start really with the cranes here and like get to see the babies appear and how small they are, and learn that like they can start eating like fish right away, they can walk, they can swim. Like, it was very cool to start with that. My least favorite part, how tired I was when I was watching this. I was struggling, not because of the movie being boring, but because like I was physically and mentally exhausted. And so I was having a lot of like these moments, and I was like, you need to pay attention. So I know it has nothing to do with the movie, but it's true. Recommend, absolutely. I think you should do all three. Do Born in China, Goes to the Mountains, and then this. Such a fun experience. Watch again? I don't know if I'll watch this again. Like, I don't know why I would be doing that. But I suppose if someone was like, I want to watch Expedition China, I wouldn't say no. Like, I'd be like, alright, fine, I've seen it. I just want to touch on, seeing these really helps you understand how they're getting certain shots that seem like, what did they do? Set up a light in a cave to get this shot? There's no freaking way. It just is like so helpful to see that they spend months to a year building like a trust with the animals to be able to film that much closer. And then they do have like insane zoom lenses and like telephoto lenses and just like to the nines. And it's really helpful because then you can like understand how they're getting some of the shots. Like, it helps me because sometimes I'm watching these documentaries and I'm like, what do they do? Friggin' go into a cave with a panda and its newborn baby and shine a light on it? So it was helpful to see, and I think that's really fun. That's everything I have for Expedition China. My final rating's gonna be 7, oh man, maybe cameras. 7 cameras out of 10. Our total movie count is... Parent Tatzel and Craig count are still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials to find out what movie I'm watching when. I put out videos every Monday, Friday, and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. I got a tier starting at just $1. You get every video a week early. Tiers about that, daily trivia. You get bonus content, monthly postcards, free merch, names in the description of my videos. Go check it out. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. It doesn't look like this anymore, but it does look like this still. Until next time, kind of like subscribe, but I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so you, and don't be climate change support, like deniers about it. Oh yeah, that can't be oscillating.